Hi everyone and welcome to Mac Tech Tutorials. Today we are going to go over the basics of using iMovie. Now, I'm going to assume that you have your camera plugged in and ready. So if you don't, plug it in right now. Okay, so I'm assuming you have it plugged in. And right here on the desktop is where my camera is. So I can go into the Finder and see my camera, and that's my camera with all its folders. Okay, so this is where the real tutorial starts. So let's go up into Spotlight here and type iMovie. And then we're going to press enter. And then we're going to get to iMovie. And okay. So we're going to start a new project. And to start, you can have all these themes to choose from, like photo album, and you can preview your theme over there. Bulletin board, comic book, scrapbook. Then you have your movie trailers, where you can make a movie trailer, a guided movie trailer. But we're just going to start with no theme. And here we can name our project. So I'm just going to call this project horse. And the aspect ratio, that's basically like what type of screens will it fit. Like widescreen is 16:9, that's the aspect ratio for Blu-ray. And then there's standard like 4:3 for tablets, like that. And that's the frame rate, the 30 frames per second, the 25 frames per second, and 24 frames per second. But for this, if you have a standard camera, I would suggest using this because it has the highest frames per second. And that's the format that most camcorders record in. Some do this, but most do this automatically. And you can choose to automatically add cross dissolve, cross blur, cross zoom, ripple, fade to black, fade to white, blah 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 in between your clips, but you don't have to have that. Okay, so now you're going to click create. Okay, so now we have our new project. So to start, we're just going to go over the various parts of iMovie that you can use. Now this is the area where your actual project is going to be in, and this is where you're going to edit it and put your real clips in and use. This is where you're going to see your video, like that. This is where you're going to view it in. Down here is your event library. That is basically where all your video is stored. So you can drag it into there, your project. Now what these are is your last import, like the videos you imported when you last used iMovie, which is, for me, it's all this. Macintosh HD and Macintosh HD 2, those are your hard drives. So if you choose to import it to Macintosh HD, I have no video there. I have all my video on HD2. Like if you have a Mac with 2 hard drives. And then it will show you your year, your videos, and your new events if you choose to create one. Now this is where, like I said, all your video is stored before you actually go on to use it. Okay, so now that we've really gone over the basics, and because I don't want to confuse you here, I'm just going to go on to what most people will think to do first, and that will be to import their video. So we're going to go up to File here, and then we're going to choose Import or import from camera, but I like import because you can choose your folder. So you can either go movies, camera icon, private archive, sorry, iMovie for iOS project, which is basically like a project that you create on your iPad or your iPhone, or your iMovie HD project if you have an old version of iMovie. But I'm just going to choose movies. Okay, so now that we're in movies, we're going to go down to our camera and we're going to click on it, and we're going to see like all these different folders. If your camera has different folders like mine, like this picture, this one's the picture folder. This one is, I'm not quite sure, I haven't used it yet. This one is the folder for MP4 video files, which is the video files that macOS 10 will handle in iMovie. And this one is for AVC HD files, which macOS 10 won't handle without a converter. So we're going to go in our MP4 and we're going to find the video that we want. So we're going to click on it, and then we can choose to save it to whatever hard drive we want if we have two hard drives, and where that will be is it will import onto that hard drive right there if we click on that, or it will import to that hard drive right there. So I want it to import to Macintosh HD2, and you can choose to add it to an existing event or to create a new event. Now, for me, I'm going to add it to the event videos, and you can optimize video by having it be full original size or large 960 by 540, but keeping it at full size is better because it maintains the original resolution of the video. Now, you can either copy files or move files, and this is where some people might get confused. So I'm just going to go through them. Copy files is where it copies files over from your camera onto your hard drive where it will show up in iMovie. And moving files is where it will delete the original file after it moves into iMovie. But I think your best bet here is going to be to copy the files, because if you have the space to use, that's probably your best option. So let's click import. Okay, so now we are going to see our clip right here. Okay, so that is our tiny little clip. Okay, so we can skim that clip by moving our mouse along the clip, and it will show up here. But okay, so we can select our clip by clicking on it, and then we can see that our mouse has changed, and we can now click and drag it up into our video project, and then we can let go, and it will show up in our video project right there in our viewer. So we can do that with some other clips too, like I can click and drag, or we can select in 4-second increments by just clicking down, or we can click and drag the amount of video that we want. I can add that to our video as well, and it will show a little break in between them right there, where we can add effects and transitions and stuff like that. Okay, so for our original clip, if we want to cut down our original clip, we're going to want to select this part, and we're going to want to tap the delete button. Now that part won't be part of our project anymore. Okay, so now we can do several other things for it, but I am going to explain that in another tutorial with titles and effects and transitions and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that I explained it well enough. If I didn't, please comment in the comments, and I will get to explaining it better later. So thank you for watching, and subscribe.